McCarthy's shrieking denunciations and fear-mongering have created a climate of fear and suspicion across the country, raising the question in households across the nation: who are the un-American Americans amongst us?
Any man who has been named by either a senator of a committee or a congressman is dangerous to the welfare of this nation.
President Eisenhower refuses to engage directly with McCarthy. In a letter to his brother, however, Eisenhower explains, as for McCarthy, only a short-sighted or completely inexperienced individual would urge the use of the office of the presidency to give an opponent the publicity he so avidly desires. Time and time again, without apology or evasion, I and many members of this administration have stood for the right of the individual for free expression of convictions, even though those convictions might be unpopular, and for uncensored use of our libraries, except as dictated by common decency.
Yvette.
Oh, Monsieur, you scared me after death.
Wouldn't want to do that now, would we? There are so many better ways to die. Please, turn off that noise. Thank you. Is everything ready?
Oui.
Good. Cook?
You called, sir?
Everything on schedule?
Dinner will be ready at 7:30. Sharp.
Ah, right on time. You have your instructions?
Oui.
Very well then. Let the game begin. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm not sure if I'm in the right.
Yes, indeed. You are expected, Colonel.
How did you know that?
It is Colonel Mustard, isn't it?
No, that's not my name. My name is Colonel
I
Sam.
believe it's been recommended that tonight you use a pseudonym.
Oh, no, thank you. I took an antihistamine before I came.
May I take your coat?
Oh, all right. I suppose
Not to worry, Colonel. It's just the maid in the hall with the champagne cork.
Champagne?
Oh, don't mind if I...
This way, monsieur.
Thank you. Are you expecting someone else?
Indeed. I'll be with you in a moment.
Follow me, Colonel.
With pleasure, my dear.
Do come in, madam. You are expected.
Do you know who I am?
Only that you are a socialite to be known this evening as Mrs. White.
Yes, it said so in my letter. But why?
May I introduce you? Mrs. White, this is the maid, Yvette. I see you two know each other.
We've never met.
Champagne?
I think not.
Please, warm yourself in the lounge.
Why? Do I look cold?
A bit. This way.
Oh, hello.
Hello. Pleased to meet you.
I'm rarely pleased to meet anyone. More.
Oh, yes.
Hello, madam. Please, come in from the rain.
Mrs. Peacock, I presume.
Who? Oh, yes, that's me.
Cook, will you please take Mrs. Peacock's stole? I see you two know each other.
Don't be ridiculous. I've never met this woman before in my life.
Champagne?
My lips belong to the Lord.
Please, make yourself comfortable in the lounge.
Thank you. Oh, and for your hospitality. And there's a couple of Benjamins hidden under the caramels for you, butler.
How, sticky.
I expect to be treated like the wife of a...
Hold that thought. Right this way. After you, Mrs. Peacock.
Oh my! Look at the detail of this molding. This is quite a magnificent mansion, isn't it? Ah! Who are you?
Welcome to the party.
This is turning out to be quite the crowd.
Is this the right address to meet a Mr. Body?
Sit! No, not you, sir. Please, come in.
I'm sorry. I suppose this letter has me rather frazzled.
You must be Mr. Green.
Yes, that's exactly who I am.
Welcome, sir.
Whoa, this isn't at all what I expected.
I find if you expect nothing, you're never disappointed.
Oh, I'm not disappointed. I just...
Pardon me, sir. Good evening.
Please arrive 7:30 sharp on Saturday evening. Well, here I am.
Professor Plum.
If you say so.
Well, well, well. And I thought I'd seen everything.
Miss Scarlet, welcome. I didn't realize you and the professor were acquainted.
We're not. The bridge was washed out from the rain and my car broke down. This professor offered to give me a ride. I didn't realize we were headed to the same place until we arrived.
How was your drive?
It's a long haul.
Why, yes, it is a long haul, but then it's a very large house. This way.
Say, what is this God-forsaken place anyway?
Why, this old place? Ha! This is Body Manor. Cook, dinner?
Directly.
Appetizers in the lounge. After you.
Hors d'oeuvres. Good. I'm starving.
Funny, I haven't much of an appetite at all.
My, this really is a party.
Well, greetings all. It's a pleasure for you to see me. Ooh, cocktail hour.
There are so many of you. I didn't realize...
Right, good then. You're all here. Mr. Green.
That's me.
Mrs. White.
Yes.
Colonel Mustard.
Present.
Miss Scarlet. Professor Plum.
Right.
And Mrs. Peacock.
How do you do?
Greetings. I am Wadsworth, the butler. Tonight, as you may have surmised, nobody is being addressed by their real names, a courtesy your host has provided to ensure your privacy. I suggest you follow his lead and refrain from revealing too much about yourselves this evening. You never know when... Dinner.
Dinner? That was more like cocktail minute.
Mr. Wadsworth, you were saying you never know when... What?
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 This way. We really oughtn't keep her waiting. Cook can get cranky. Ladies and gentlemen, follow me. The dining room is right this way. You'll find your names by your places. Please, be seated.
Is this where I'm supposed to...
Peacock, dear. I think so.
Oh, thank you.
This place at the head of the table, is that for you?
Indeed, no, sir. I don't sit. I am merely a humble butler.
What exactly do you do?
I buttle, sir.
Dinner is served.
Thank you, cook.
What's this all about, butler? This dinner party?
Ours not to reason why. Ours but to do and die.
Die?
Merely quoting, sir, from Alfred, Lord Tennyson.
I prefer Kipling myself. Do you like Kipling, Colonel?
Sure, I'll eat anything.
What's that smell? It's something familiar.
It's shark's fin soup.
My favorite!
I know.
Bon appetit.
Oh, this soup is delicious. Oh, this is yum, yum, yummy, yum, yum. Well, I guess I'll be the one to break the ice. I mean, I'll be the one to get the ball rolling. I'm used to being a hostess. It's an integral part of my life as the wife of a... Oh, I forgot. We're not supposed to say who we really are. But, oh, well, I have no idea what we are doing here. But I am intrigued. And oh my, this soup is delicious, isn't it?
I know who you are.
You do?
I work in Washington.
Washington? So you must be a politician's wife, Mrs. Peacock.
Yes, I am.
Who's your husband? Maybe I know him.
Well, he's Mrs. White. You've been awfully quiet. What does your husband do?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Well, he just lays around on his back all day.
How lazy.
Not necessarily.
Sorry. I'm afraid I'm a little clumsy.
That'll be $5, mister.
Excuse me?
Mr. Green, what do you do in Washington?
Oh, I'd better not say. I prefer to follow the rules.
Well, if I wasn't trying to keep the conversation going, then we'd all be sitting here in embarrassed silence.
Are you afraid of silence, Mrs. Peacock?
Yes. No. Why?
Well, it seems in my professional opinion, you suffer from what we call pressure of speech.
Is there an official diagnosis?
Are you a doctor, Professor?
Yes, in psychological medicine.
So, do you practice?
Not anymore. I currently work for the U.S. government.
Ah, another politician.
Not exactly. I do research for you-know-who.
Who?
It's a branch of the United Nations organization, the World Health Organization.
Oh, you know who? It's an acronym.
My sister's a gymnast.
You are a real colonel, aren't you?
I am, sir.
Aren't you going to mention the coincidence that you too work in Washington, D.C., Colonel?
How did you know that?
Oh, I've seen you before.
So, Miss Scarlet, does that mean that you work in Washington too?
Sure do.
Does anyone here not live in Washington?
Oh, then is this about the Red Scare?
I'm not a communist! I'm a Republican!
Wadsworth, we've have about enough of this. Where's our host and why have we been brought here?
Speak of the devil. Pardon me, please.
I've got an idea.
Oh, yes, good thinking, Miss Scarlet.
What are we doing?
The acoustic coupling between the door and the glass allows sound waves to travel from one side to the other.
All the guests have arrived as expected. Everything is going according to plan. We'll meet you in the study.
Lovely door.
It is a long hall.
There's a door there?
Oh, for goodness sake! Who was at the door? I demand to know what was going on.
Can I interest any of you in fruit or dessert?
No!
Well, in that case, may I suggest we adjourn to the study for coffee and brandy, at which point I believe your newly arrived host will reveal his intentions, your letters will be explained, and the game will be afoot.
Coffee? Brandy?
Thank you, Yvette. That'll be all.
Oui, monsieur.
Well, where's our host?
He's not here. Nobody's here. What is happening?
Cigarette, it'll calm your nerves.
I don't smoke.
For Wadsworth. Open after dinner. It's for you.
Right then, are you comfortable?
I make a good living.
Oh, out with it, Wadsworth.
Ladies and gentlemen, these instructions are clear.
I'm glad something is.
It seems the 6 of you have all received the same letter. It will be to your advantage to be present on this date because a Mr. Body will put to an end a certain long-standing, painful financial liability.
Honestly, I've had it.
It seems all of you have one thing in common.
That tyrant McCarthy. We're all being blacklisted, aren't we?
Close, Colonel. You're all being blackmailed.
Oh, please. What's anyone going to blackmail me for? I go to church every Sunday.
Yeah, lady, don't we all?
Anybody else wish to deny it? Until you'd received your letters, you hadn't known who was blackmailing you. But now, I'm sure even the least discerning amongst you has determined that the man behind your ransom is Mr. Body himself.
Oh, I think I can blackmail the body.
Who is this body fellow, you brutish butler?
Who Mr. Body is no concern of yours. Suffice it to say, he's a supporter of the House Un-American Activities Committee, and he feels your activities have been decidedly un-American. My task this evening is to reveal all of your secrets to each other, rendering you all culpable in each other's indiscretions.
But we hardly know each other.
Precisely.
Don't you think that you might spare us this humiliation?
I'm afraid I have no choice. Let's start with you, Professor Plum.
Oh, this ought to be good.
It says here you were once a professor of psychiatry, specializing in pathological lying lunatics suffering from delusions of grandeur.
Yes, but I now work in the U.S. government.
So your work has not changed. But you can't practice medicine anymore, can you? Your license has been lifted, correct?
Why? What do you do?
You know how male doctors aren't supposed to date their lady patients?
Yeah?
Well, he did.
Oh, how awful. You know, someday there'll be a reckoning for men like you.
I hope so.
Me too.
You're disgusting.
Are you making moral judgments, Mrs. Peacock?
I will.
How then do you justify taking bribes in exchange for delivering Senator Peacock's votes to certain lobbyists?
My husband is a paid consultant. There is nothing sinful about that.
Not if it's publicly declared, but when you're slipping cash under the stall door at Old Ebbitt's Grill, how would you describe that transaction?
I'd say it stinks.
When were you in that men's room?
So it's true.
No, it's a vicious lie.
But you've been paying blackmail for over a year to keep that story out of the papers. Seems a bit sticky, no?
Now see here.
Well, I'm willing to believe you. I, too, am being blackmailed for something I didn't do.
So am I.
Not me.
You're not being blackmailed.
Oh, I'm being blackmailed, all right. But I did what I'm being blackmailed for.
What did you do?
I run a non-governmental agency that handles classified affairs.
Affairs? In Washington?
Is that how you know the Colonel works in Washington? Is he one of your clients?
Certainly not.
I was asking Miss Scarlet.
Well, you tell him. It's not true.
It's not true.
Is that true?
No, it's not true.
So it is true.
A double negative.
Double negative? You mean you have photographs?
That sounds like a confession to me, Colonel. In fact, this double negative has turned proof positive. I'm afraid you gave yourself away.
Are you trying to make me look dumb in front of the other guests?
You don't need any help from me. Colonel, you hold a sensitive security post at the Pentagon. These negatives would certainly compromise your position.
And what position exactly were you caught in, Colonel?
This is an outrage!
Let's see. Who's next? Mrs. White, you've been paying our friend the blackmailer ever since your husband died under, shall we say, mysterious circumstances.
Say what you want. I didn't kill him.
You paid the blackmailer.
I wouldn't want another scandal now, would I?
Another?
We had a very humiliating confrontation. He had threatened to kill me in public.
Why would he want to kill you in public?
I think she means he had threatened in public to kill her.
It was all over the papers.
And yet he was the one who died. Not you, Mrs. White. Not you.
He had been found dead at home, unclothed. His head had been cut off, and so had his, you know. But I didn't do it. I'd been out all evening, at the movies.
What was showing?
The Naked Alibi.
A likely story.
But he was your second husband. Your first husband also disappeared.
That was his job. He was an illusionist.
But he never reappeared.
He wasn't a very good illusionist.
And lastly, Mr. Green, who is a...
I don't need you to unmask me, Wadsworth. I know exactly what you're going to say about me.
And what's that?
Mr. Green, who is a homosexual.
Not me!
I beg your pardon?
You said, who is a homosexual? And it's not me.
Yes, thank you, Colonel. But there's more to it than that, Mr. Green.
What do you mean?
There's evidence to suggest the questioning of your politics.
My politics? Since when is working for the Republican Party a crime?
You swore an oath of allegiance to the Republican Party, and yet you failed to vote for Eisenhower in the last election. That's grounds for an ousting if there ever was one.
But voting records are confidential.
Everything has its price, Mr. Green.
So, there you have it.
Have what?
A crooked senator's wife, a lascivious doctor, a disloyal Republican, and so forth. Not exactly adhering to an all-American standard of behavior.
Depends who you ask.
But if this body fellow is such a noble civilian himself, then why didn't he report us to the authorities?
And miss the opportunity to make a buck? Come on now, Professor. What could be more American than that?
Apple pie.
All right, Wadsworth. So we're all being blackmailed by some renegade McCarthyist. Where does that leave us?
Where is this Mr. Body?
And what does he want from us?
Who cares? I'm not waiting to find out. I'm leaving.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Peacock. You can stay in denial, but you cannot leave this house.
I am the wife of a great senator. You cannot tell me what to do. Locked.
That's right. All the doors are locked, the windows are barred, and the grounds are patrolled by vicious dogs. There's no way out.
You can't sit here.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you your host for the evening and your blackmailer for life, Mr. Body!
How'd you do?
You're talking about
Conversation.
Ooh, Mrs. White, in the study, with her knee.
Thank you. I studied martial arts.
But there is one more piece of information you might like to have.
What?
The police are coming in less than an hour.
Unless what? You agree to double down.
And why would we agree to that?
Because if you don't, I'll take this briefcase containing all the evidence needed to expose you of your wrongdoings and place it in the hands of the police, the press, and the House Un-American Committee. Why, with the right spin, those fellows could make a commie out of anyone. Some of you would face a lifetime of prison, and some a lifetime of shame.
You're taking advantage of tenuous political
Unless
what?
Well, there's something you could do for me that would change the game. Something that I just can't bear to do myself.
What?
Have a seat, please.
You guys, is it all right if I sit here? Sorry, I'm a little accident prone.
So what's this all about, sir?
Wadsworth, in this bag you'll find 6 packages.
Packages?
Presents, if you will. I'm a generous sort of fellow.
Are you?
Please see to it that each guest receives a gift.
Gladly.
Anybody want to make a guess as to what's in their gift?
Perfume.
Candy.
A rare single malt Scotch whiskey.
Aren't guessing games fun? Please, open them.
A candlestick. What's this for?
A wrench.
Lead pipe?
A dagger.
A revolver.
A snake!
Oh, no. It's a rope.
In your hands, you each hold a lethal weapon. You all came here tonight because you believe that the evidence against you was so terrible, you'd do anything to keep it from getting out. Well, I'm willing to put that theory to the test.
You are?
You see, Wadsworth here is the only other person who knows your secrets. And it's costing us all dearly to keep him quiet.
What do you mean?
Well, I wouldn't have to double your blackmail if we weren't paying Wadsworth here for his silence.
Wadsworth? That's a lie.
He may look suave and charming,
Thank you.
but he's actually quite conniving and manipulative.
False.
Why do you think he's called the police?
You called the police?
Only because he instructed me to do so.
Did I? Ladies and gentlemen, if you can manage to get rid of Wadsworth, I'll have no reason to double your blackmail or expose you to the police.
Get rid of.
Does he mean kill him?
In fact, if you can eliminate Wadsworth,
Yes, I think that's what he means.
who not only knows your secrets, but also mine, I'll eliminate your blackmail altogether and this messy business will be over with once and for all.
You would never.
But why make us do it, Body? Why don't you do your dirty work yourself?
Yeah!
Why should I, when all of you are so uniquely motivated and armed?
What a patriot.
After all I've done for you. Don't listen to him. He's a liar. I'm one of you. I'm not a butler. I'm an indentured servant.
A familiar refrain. Don't make a scene, Wadsworth. It's over. Now's your chance. The police are on their way. The only way for you to eliminate your blackmail and avoid finding yourselves on the front page is for one of you to kill Wadsworth. Now!
It's Mr. Body!
Oh, thank goodness.
Is he breathing?
Stand back. I'm a doctor. He's dead.
Who had the gun?
I did.
So you shot him!
I didn't.
If you didn't, who did?
Somebody grabbed it from my hand, and the next thing I knew, there was a shot.
There's no gunshot wound.
He's right, there isn't.
Look, there's a bullet lodged here.
Eagle Eye, Miss Scarlet.
Well, if a bullet's over there, then how did Mr. Body die over here?
I don't know. I'm not a forensics expert.
Someone must have killed him.
Well, don't look at me. I didn't kill him.
I'm just a
Good
butler.
lie.
I need a drink.
Maybe Mr. Body was poisoned by the brandy.
Poison!
There, Mrs. Seacook! I'm sure you'll be just fine! There's nothing to worry about! Everything's gonna be...
Well, someone had to stop her screaming.
Was the brandy poisoned?
How should I know?
Looks like now we'll never know.
Well, she dies too.
The screams are coming from the billiard room. It's locked. Who's in there? Who's screaming?
C'est moi!
Yvette?
Oui!
Yvette, are you alive?
Of course I'm alive, you idiot! No thanks to you, Wadsworth. You've locked us up in this house with a murderer.
So the murderer is here?
Oui.
Where?
You're all looking at him. Or her.
What took you so long?
I'm an old woman who may or may not have just been poisoned. It's amazing I'm anywhere.
I heard you all in the study. One of you is the killer.
But how could you hear us in Z's study?
I have a tape recorder in the study connected to the billiard room. Monsieur Body asked me to record your conversation.
Why would he ask you to do that?
For more evidence, of course. Wadsworth revealed your secrets in the study. Now they are all recorded.
What a snake. Where are the tapes? I gotta destroy them.
Who cares about the tapes? What about the body?
What body?
Body's body!
But Yvette, why were you screaming in there all by yourself?
Because I was frightened. I also drank the cognac. What if I am poisoned too? And besides, one of you is the killer. Monsieur Body is dead.
We have to figure out which one of them did it.
What do you mean, which one of them?
Well, I didn't kill him.
Well, one of you did. I'd have killed him myself, but I didn't have access to a weapon.
Don't look at me. All I got was a candlestick.
Maybe it wasn't one of us.
Who else could it have been?
Who else is in the house?
Only the cook.
The cook!
As far as I can tell, the cook's not in here.
What a lovely kitchen. My husband and I had one very similar to this in our first brownstone. It has such a home. Wow! It's the cook with a dagger in her back.
Someone must have killed her.
I didn't do it. This makes two.
To what?
Murders.
I hate murders.
I think you better explain yourself, Wadsworth.
Me?
Yes, you. Who else will want to kill the cook?
Dinner wasn't that bad.
How can you make jokes at a time like this?
It's my defense mechanism.
Oh, some defense. If I were the killer, I'd kill you next. I said if, and there's only one minute killer here. It's not me. It's Mrs. White.
I've admitted nothing.
You paid the blackmail. How many husbands have you had?
Mine or other women's?
Yours.
5.
5?
Yes, just the 5. Husbands should be like Kleenex. Soft, strong, and disposable.
Well, if it wasn't you, then who did it? Who had the dagger?
It was Mrs. Peacock.
Yes, but I put it down.
Where?
In the study. Any one of you could have picked it up.
I was buttling.
Well, then it must have been Mr. Green.
Can somebody please help me? Good Lord, let him up.
You really ought to learn to speak up for yourself better, Mr. Green.
Oh my lord. Gentlemen, might I suggest we take the cook's body back to the study?
Why?
Well, for starters, when the police arrive, if they find this, then we'll all be in custody and under suspicion for murder.
Murder?
And secondly, I'm the butler. I like to keep the kitchen tidy.
The body's gone.
Sorry, what are you all staring at?
Nobody.
What do you mean?
Nobody. Nobody. Mr. Body's body. It's gone.
Maybe he wasn't really dead.
He was.
We should have made sure.
So was he dead or wasn't he?
Maybe he was dead, but then someone moved him?
Who would move him?
And why?
How should I know?
Well, if he's not here, then where is he?
Oh my. All this excitement. I have to, excuse me. Is there a little girl's room?
Oui, oui, madam.
No, I just have to powder my nose.
There's a toilet outside the billiard room.
I don't mean to alarm anybody, but we do currently have the problem of 2 dead bodies, 1 present and 1 missing, and the imminent arrival of the police.
The bridge is washed out. That should buy us some time.
But I don't want more time. I want the police to arrive. I am trapped in this house with a murderer.
But once the police arrive, the rest of us are doomed.
Wadsworth, am I right in thinking that there is no one else in this house?
No.
So there is someone else in this house.
Sorry, I said no, meaning yes.
No meaning yes?
Yes.
I just want a straight answer.
Well, don't look at me.
Ugh. Wadsworth, is there someone else in this house? Yes or no?
No.
No there is, or no there isn't?
Yes.
There seems to be some confusion on whether or not we're the only ones in this house.
There isn't.
There isn't any confusion, or there isn't anyone else in this house?
Either. Both.
I just want a clear answer.
What was the question?
Is there someone else in this house?
No!
That's what he says, but does he know?
Look, we've got a killer on the loose, the missing dead body of Mr. Body, a cook with a dagger in her back, and all of these easily accessible weapons. The candlestick, the wrench, the rope, the revolver. Where's the lead pipe?
It's Mr. Body!
He's attacking her! Oh, he's so bloody.
Stand back. I'm a doctor. He's dead.
That's what you said last time.
I believe in second chances.
Mr. Body, dead again.
Oh, I'm going to faint.
I'll catch you. Sorry.
Mrs. Peacock,
Yes?
where did this happen?
In the bathroom. I opened the door and at first I thought he was attacking me, but then I realized he had been left propped up against the doorframe. Dead! Just waiting to fall on someone!
Who would do such a thing?
Takes a lot of guts to kill someone twice.
It's what we call overkill.
But why?
What's the difference?
Makes a difference to him.
Makes a difference to us. We've got to find out who killed him, where, and with what.
Seems like it was probably the lead pipe.
10 points, Professor Plum.
What kind of game are you playing, Wadsworth?
This isn't a game.
You. The lead pipe belonged to you.
But I dropped it on the way to the kitchen.
People don't just drop murder weapons.
I didn't know it was a murder weapon when I dropped it.
So any one of us could have picked it up?
Of course, but who did? Who did pick up the lead pipe? Who picked up the lead pipe and brutally murdered Mr. Body, leaving him dead and bloodied in the bathroom? Who did that? Who?
Cool it, Butler. While you're losing your marbles, I'm over here trying to do something useful. Have we all forgotten about the evidence against us?
The evidence!
Body's briefcase is locked.
There must be a key.
Mr. Green, would you be so kind as to check Mr. Body's pockets for the key to the briefcase containing the evidence of all of our crimes so that we may destroy said evidence once and for all?
Why me?
Why not?
Well, all right.
Where did you get that?
I don't like germs.
Or fingerprints?
No, mostly just germs. Got it.
Give it here. It's empty.
Empty?
Then where's all the evidence?
I told you Body was a liar. Had the evidence in his briefcase my foot.
We have to find that evidence.
And destroy it.
Evidence against us aside, we're in a room with 2 dead bodies.
And the cops are on their way.
I suggest we move them to the couch and make them look less dead.
Some party this is turning out to be.
Help me, Monsieur Green.
Well, all right.
Careful. Don't get guts on the ground.
Solid battlefield technique, Professor Plum. Never leave a man behind.
Cadavers are heavier than they seem, aren't they?
I wouldn't know.
Right. Me either.
Oopsie daisy.
Here, prop her up.
Aren't you all strong and virile?
Good. They just look asleep.
Forget about the bodies. We need to do something about the room full of murder weapons and the homicidal maniac on the loose.
Let's put the weapons in the bag.
What good will that do?
Well, then we'll zip up the bag.
Most murderers know how zippers work, Wadsworth.
Oh, I have an idea. We'll put the bag in the safe.
Terrific. Where's the safe?
In the hole.
I don't see a safe.
Is that an original Trumbull, Mr. Wadsworth?
Those are very valuable.
Now is not the time for art appreciation.
A hidden safe behind the portrait? How original.
There. Locked.
Voila!
What are we gonna do with the keys to the safe?
Oh, yes, the keys.
I'll put them in my pocket.
But what if you're the murderer?
I'm not.
But what if you are?
I have an idea. We'll throw the keys outside.
À l'extérieur.
But it's raining. À l'extérieur.
I'm not suggesting we go outside. I'm suggesting we stay inside and throw away the key.
But you'd have to open the door, wouldn't you?
I would.
But what if the killer's outside?
Better out than in.
Yes, we want to keep the door closed, wouldn't we? If we open the door, we risk letting him back in.
But maybe if you open the door, we'd encourage the killer to go out.
The killer seems to be doing a fine job of opening and closing doors, all by himself. I don't see how us opening the door for one tiny second could make any sort of a difference.
But what if we open the door, throw out the key, and then the killer catches it? Then the killer would have the key that we're trying to confiscate.
We might be overthinking this. I'm going to throw away the key. Follow me. Not now!
Was that the killer?
She didn't look like a killer.
Takes one to know one.
Leave her to me. Interrogation is my specialty. How do you do?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disturb the whole household, but my car broke down out here, and I was wondering if I could use your phone.
Are you a killer?
What? No.
All right, this way, please.
Thank you. Well, where is it?
What? The body?
The phone. What body?
There's no body.
Right.
There's nobody.
You're right. You're right. There's nobody in the study.
No! I'm sorry. That phone's been disconnected, but you may use the phone in the lounge.
Alrighty then.
Right through this door.
Thanks.
All right, I've locked her in there. Our task is twofold. 1, find the evidence. 2, find the murderer.
We've got one potential suspect contained up in the lounge, but that leaves the whole rest of this place up for grabs. Who knows what's behind all these doors?
I suggest we handle this in proper military fashion. We'll split up and search the house.
Split up?
Yeah, we'll split up into pairs. That way none of us are alone.
But if we split up into pairs, whoever's with the killer might get killed.
Oh, mon Dieu.
But then we would have discovered who the killer is.
But then the other half of the pair would be dead.
This is war, Peacock! Casualties are inevitable! You cannot make an omelet without breaking some eggs! Andy Cook will tell you that.
But look at what happened to the cook.
Colonel, you willing to take that risk?
What choice do we have?
None.
Oh, I suppose you're right.
All right, troops, divide and conquer. I'll split us up into pairs. Eeny, meeny, miny.
No. Mrs. White, you're with me. Professor Plum, Mrs. Peacock. Yvette, you'll be with Mr. Green. And Miss Scarlet, eeny, meeny.
But what if we don't come back?
We'll remember you fondly. Now, leave no door unopened and cherish your partners. This may be the last person you ever see.
I'll be right behind you.
That's why I'm nervous.
But why? It's just us. We're alone.
That's just it, Mrs. White. No man in his right mind would ever be alone with you.
Fine. You go in this door, and I'll go in that door.
Okay.
Are you going in?
Yes. Are you?
Yes.
On the count of 3. 1, 3.
Nothing in that room.
Nothing in that room either.
Shall we search the ballroom?
After you.
This is quite an impressive library.
How am I supposed to find anything if I don't even know what I'm looking for?
Civilized societies perpetually menace with disintegration to this primary hostility of men towards one another.
Your fancy words don't intimidate me, Professor.
I take no credit. Freud, I think he's onto something.
Now is not the time for academic pursuits. We're supposed to be finding the evidence.
It's a fruitless search, if you ask me. I mean, it's not like we're just going to walk into a room and find the evidence plastered on a wall.
I suppose you're right.
Come on, let's go upstairs. Maybe we'll be excited by something in a bedroom.
I haven't been excited by something in a bedroom for years.
I'm a little nervous. I'm at that big house on the hill, and I've been locked in the lounge. I didn't expect there would be a whole group of people here. It's like they're having some sort of party. And the funny thing is, I think one of them is my customer. Yeah, my regular Tuesday night passenger.
Oh, there you are.
You'll never believe what I found in the hall.
What?
Professor Plum's stupid tobacco pipe.
What do you think that means?
I don't know, but it's pretty sus if you ask me.
I just did.
Honestly, Colonel, this is the last room to search in this beastly mansion, and we still haven't found the evidence.
Well, I think that this time has been pretty productive, nevertheless.
Aren't you a Pollyanna?
You're a brave, determined lady, Miss Scarlet. I really do hope that after this expedition ends, we can still remain of friends. I mean, really, Murs aside, it's just been a lovely group of people, all in all. I do suppose why Mrs. White's veil was in the billiard room.
You found White's veil in the billiard room? Odd.
Odd?
Odd. A trap door! A trap door leading to a secret passage. Come on.
Ladies first, Miss Scarlet.
How heroic.
Where are we now?
How should I know? The lights are out.
Well, turn them on.
I would if I could see anything.
Well, I'm gonna feel my way around.
Don't get any funny ideas.
A table.
A telephone.
A chair.
A body.
A body! Ah!
Quick, find the door!
Get me out of here!
Help! Help!
Murder! Murder!
Let us in! Let us in!
Let us out! Let us out!
We can't let you out. The door to the lounge is locked.
How can it be locked? You had the keys, Wadsworth. You
That's
locked
right.
the motorist in here.
Oh, I did have the keys. I do. I don't. The keys are gone.
Gone? I have an idea. Please get us out of here. There's a murderer on the loose.
There's no other choice. I'm just gonna have to break down the door. Stand back. I'm a doctor.
Stand back! I'm a woman.
Can somebody please help me?
What happened?
What was that? Help! Murder! Help!
I will help you. I am done shooting at you. The door is open. You can come out now.
Why were you shooting at us?
To open the door.
Or you could have killed us.
I said stand back.
Let's add finding the keys to our priority list.
Say, Frenchie, where'd you get that gun anyway?
Is he safe? It was unlocked.
Unlocked? That's impossible. I have the key. No, I haven't. It's gone.
Gone? Not to beat a dead horse or anything, but I feel like having the keys is all in all really important.
Wadsworth, I thought you'd said you'd throw away the key to the safe.
I did say that, but I didn't do that. I got distracted by the motorist at the door and I forgot. One of you must have snatched the keys from my pocket while we were searching the house.
So whoever has the keys is the killer.
Precisely.
Speaking of the killer, there's a dead body in the lounge, you know. The motorist is dead.
Which one of you killed her?
We found her together.
She was already dead.
But the door to the lounge was locked.
We found a secret passageway in the conservatory.
A secret passage? Who designed this place?
The Parker brothers.
Quick, I'll have the gun.
Don't worry, it's not the police.
It's the police.
I'm gonna open the door.
No!
It's a decent thing to do.
Open the door. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, officer. We've been expecting you.
You have?
We haven't.
I got a tip about an abandoned car near the gates of this house. Did a motorist stop by for help by any chance?
No. Yes.
There seems to be some disagreement. At any rate, can I come and use the phone?
No. Of course you may, ma'am. There's a phone right in the lounge.
Out of order.
Right, of course. There's a phone in the study.
Occupied.
I'm sorry, officer, but you may use the phone in the library. This way.
You're all acting rather peculiar.
Oh, it's because our chandelier fell down.
Oh, yeah. It was very scary.
It could have killed us, but don't worry, the maid will clean it up.
That's all well and good, but what's going on in the lounge, in the study?
Lounging, studying. This way.
Let me have a look.
No, thank you.
What?
What? This way.
Actually, I'd like to take a look around if you don't mind.
Of course, officer. Follow me. I'll take you on a grand tour of Body Manor. Body Manor was built for Lord Body in 1843.
We've got to cover our tracks and get rid of this lady.
Lord Body had been named Lord Body after somebody discovered an antibody that would save everybody. Notice the mahogany floors. Did you know, in the 15th century, Buccaneer John Esquemeling first recorded the use of mahogany for making canoes? Can you canoe?
What? Hey, where'd everybody go?
Notice the brass doorknobs, crafted specifically for Lord Body by his buddy in 1890.
I don't care about doorknobs, mister. What's going on around here? What are you hiding in these two rooms?
Which two rooms?
The lounge and the study.
Oh. Oh. Those two rooms.
Yes.
I can't let you in there, officer.
Why not?
I'm afraid it's all too shocking.
Hello, officer. Welcome to the party.
Excuse me.
You are excused.
Pardon me.
Good night, officer.
Good night. That wasn't at all shocking, mister. Those folks are just trying to have a good time. Why didn't you tell me it was a party?
My apologies, officer.
I'll just have a peek in the lounge.
Okay.
Excuse me?
Howdy, officer.
Are these men drunk? Dead drunk?
Want a sip?
Oh, I can't drink in the job. Chief would kill me.
Well, kill it if you do. Kill it if you don't.
What?
Huh?
Have a lovely evening, officer.
Same to you. Well,
I can explain everything.
no explanation necessary. There's nothing illegal about any of this.
There's not?
Of course not. This is America, and that was the pursuit of happiness. Can I use your phone now?
Of course. Right through this door.
Thank you.
All right, you can come out now. Well done, all of you.
I think we pulled that off.
I think I did pretty good.
Good job.
It's terrible. All right, we haven't much time. The police are on their way.
But the police already came.
Not the broken down car police. The criminal investigation police!
Precisely. Now, we must finish searching the manor. We must find the evidence, and we can't afford to have any more murders. This is getting dangerous. Now go!
Hello? Hello? Power outage. Must be from the storm. Oh, hello, Chief. Yeah, this is... Hello? Hello? Are you still there? Is this phone working?
Hello? Hello? Who turned out the lights? Oh, it's just you. I thought you was the killer.
Did somebody get the line? Hello?
Did you find a clue? What is that in your hand?
Oh, good, you can hear me. You see, I found an abandoned car and ended up in this old mansion where the lights just went out. I'm telling you, Chief, there's something funny going on around here. They're having some sort of party, and you'll never believe who I just saw. No!
Oh, found them.
Finally.
Let there be light.
Shh. Do you guys hear that?
It sounds like a telephone off the hook.
It's coming from the library.
That's where the killer must be.
I'm going in.
Aren't you afraid?
Of course.
Of what? A fate worse than death?
No, just death. Excuse me, officer. Can I help you with anything? Do you need assistance or a phone book, perhaps?
Hey, Copper, the butler asked you a question. Hang up the phone or I will.
We should be safe here in the billiard room.
I don't feel safe.
I can't relax.
How about a round of pool to pass the time?
That's a great
nice.
idea, Professor.
Da 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 da. I am your singing telegram.
Oh, goodness.
3 murders in 3 minutes.
That's our best record.
3 murders.
6 altogether.
The cook, Mr. Body, the motorist, the cop, Yvette, and the singing telegram girl.
But who is the murderer?
Ain't that the $1,000,000 question?
Sometimes I find the most obvious answer is right under our noses. The best course of action is to retrace our steps. It all started like this. At the start of the evening, there was thunder, lightning. The dogs barked, ding dong, Colonel Mustard, ding dong, Mrs. White, who noticed Yvette, bum bum bum. Then Mrs. Peacock, who noticed the cook, bum bum bum. And then Mr. Green, woof, sit. No, not you, sir. Please, come in. Then Professor Plum and Miss Scarlet, gong. Ah, dinner is served. That was more like cocktail minute. To the dining room. My favorite! Then Mr. Body arrived and we all went to the study. Coffee? Brandy? Who is this body fella, you Brutus Butler? How do you do? Then Mr. Body asked me to pass out the packages. Ah! It's a snake! No, it's just a rope. Then Mr. Body switched off the lights. Now! Ah! Mr. Body was dead, but not really. Really, he was alive, but we didn't know it. Then Mrs. Peacock drank his drink. Poison! Ah! 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 Well, somebody had to stop her screaming, and then we heard, ah! To the billiard room. But Mrs. Peacock arrived late. I'm an old woman who may or may not have been poisoned. Then Mrs. White asked, who else is in the house? To which we all replied, the cook! Who we found knifed in the back. Oh, germs, germs, can somebody please help me? And then I suggested we take the cook's body back to the study. But Body's body was gone. And then Mrs. Peacock arrived with Body on her body because Body had been bludgeoned at his bean. And then, the evidence. Empty! And that's when the motorist arrived. Are you a killer? And I locked her in the lounge. Dead! And then the unexpected cop showed up. You're all acting rather peculiar. Can you canoe? Dead! And then Yvette was strangled in the billiard room. Dead! And that brings us to... Ba-da-ba-bop. I am Bane! And, well, here we all are.
Bravo.
Well done, Wadsworth.
But what does it prove?
Nothing.
Well...
Enough of this. I know who the murderer is.
Who?
Do?
I do.
All right, we're listening, Miss Scarlet. Who do you accuse?
It was Professor Plum in the hall with the revolver.
Liar.
We all heard the gun go off, Professor, and I found your stupid tobacco pipe while searching the house. When'd you drop it, huh? While searching your best vantage point to kill your next victim? I bet that poor singing telegram girl was an old patient of yours, right?
I never saw that girl before in my life. It wasn't me.
Well, the revolver is missing. Gentlemen, turn out your pockets. Ladies, empty your purses. Whoever has the revolver is the murderer.
Well done, Wadsworth.
You won't be able to prove anything if you're all dead.
That may be so, Professor, but if we're alive, officers, there's your man.
Well done, Wadsworth.
That's what I said.
Yes, well, I'm saying it now. I'm Hank Cuffs, Chief of Police. Professor Plum, you're coming with me.
That's not how it happened. It happened like this.
We're listening, Professor. Who do you accuse?
It was Colonel Mustard in the lounge with the wrench.
I never lounge.
I found your Medal of Honor in the lounge where the motorist was killed by a wrench to the head. And that wrench belonged to you.
That's a lie.
Well, the wrench is missing. Gentlemen, turn out your pockets. Ladies, empty your purses. Whoever has the wrench is the murderer.
Well done, Wadsworth.
Officers, there's your man. There's not a kernel of truth in him.
Well done, Wadsworth.
That's what I said.
Yes, well, I'm saying it now. I'm guilty verdict, Chief of Police. And Colonel Mustard, you're coming with me.
That's not how it happened. It happened like this.
We're listening, Colonel. Who do you accuse?
It was Mrs. White in the billiard room with the rope.
I'd rather die.
I found your veil in the billiard room, and I saw how you cringed tonight when Yvette served you dinner.
Yes, it's true. I knew Yvette. She had a torrid love affair with my late husband. I hated her. I hated her so much. The flames on the side of my face, breathing, heaving breaths. But just because I hated her doesn't mean I killed her!
Well, the rope is missing. Gentlemen, turn out your pockets. Ladies,
Well done, Wadsworth.
Well done, Wadsworth.
That's what I said.
Yes, well, I'm saying it now. I'm mark my words, Chief of Police. And Miss White,
It's happened like this!
who do you accuse?
It was Mrs. Peacock in the kitchen with the dagger. I found your feather by the corpse.
Well, the dagger is missing. Gentlemen, turn out your pockets.
Well done, Wadsworth. That's what I said.
yes, well, I'm saying it now. I'm Barry D. Hatchet,
Chief of Police.
That's not how it happened!
It happened like this.
It was Miss Scarlet in the library with the candlestick.
Maximum, Chief of Police!
You can't do this to me, Mr. Wadsworth.
Frankly, Miss Scarlet, I don't give a dang. But I know how it really ended.
Again?
I know who the murderer is.
Who?
All of you! Freeze! You're all killers.
You can't prove anything, Mr. Wadsworth.
I'm not Mr. Wadsworth. I'm Mr. Body.
How can you be Mr. Body if Body bled all over me?
It wasn't Body who was bleeding.
If Body wasn't Body, then who was he?
If you're the real Mr. Body, then what was the point in dragging this all out?
Well, once you started killing people off, I figured I'd roll the dice, see if you'd self-implode, kill off my entire network of spies and informers. Which you all did. Splendidly, by the way. Generously leaving your fingerprints on every glass, doorknob, and dead body. Now, I've got all of you on the hook for murder.
Murder?
Bribery for petty crimes is one thing, but murder? Now that can get expensive.
But why this whole charade?
It's all part of the game.
Game?
Well, yeah. I'm relaxed now, you see. Now that you've killed everyone off, there's no more evidence left against me. I've got off scot-free.
But you'll never get away with this. The police will be here any minute.
What's so funny?
Nobody's called the police, have they?
They were never on their way.
Now listen up, you reprobates. Here's what we'll do. We'll stack the bodies in the cellar, lock the cellar door, and leave Body Mansion one at a time like none of this ever happened.
I can't forget all this.
With murder on the menu, the price of blackmail just tripled.
Forgotten.
Now move!
Wait a minute. We can all rush him. He's got no more bullets left in that gun.
You really think I'd fall for that old trick?
It's not a trick. There was 1 shot at Mr. Body in the study, 2 for the chandelier, 2 at the lounge door, and 1 for the singing telegram girl.
That's not 6.
1 + 1 + 2 + 2.
No, there was only 1 shot at the chandelier. That's 1 + 1 + 1 + 2.
Even if you were right, that would still be 1 + 2 + 1 + 1, not 1 + 1 + 2 + 2.
No, it's 1 + 2. Shut up! The point is, there is 1 bullet left in this gun, and anybody who moves is gonna get it.
So you're just gonna keep blackmailing us? We're just supposed to pretend this never happened?
Of course. Why not?
I'll tell you why not. Larry Goodman, FBI. The jig is up.
Or is it?
Missed me.
You're FBI?
Apparently I'm a dead ringer for Green. He got a letter just like each of you, but he came to the Bureau to ask for help. I took his place tonight so that we could have a sting operation.
Some sting? 6 people died on your watch.
I usually work the desk. My beat is property crime, you know, theft, fraud. That's why I was so tickled when the real Mr. Wadsworth came by the Bureau last night to drop off a whole briefcase worth of evidence.
You've had the evidence this whole time?
It's all here. Mrs. Scarlett's books, listing names of customers and employees, justifying why she killed the cop, who's listed right here on her payroll.
Give me that!
Ooh, and a love letter to Professor Plum.
That's private property.
Turns out that singing telegram girl was teenage daughter of a head of a you-know-who. Who would have come clean to daddy? Who would have cleaned out Professor Plum? So, you killed her.
Now see here.
And these negatives, Colonel. Quite regular at Miss Scarlett's establishment, aren't we? Bet you couldn't be a colonel anymore if the motorist had informed your general where he drives you on Tuesday nights.
I just wanted someone to talk with.
Shark's fin soup indeed, Mrs. Peacock. Too bad your old cook couldn't keep quiet. If only she hadn't blabbed about your briberies, maybe you wouldn't have killed her. Right before joining us outside the billiard room. Now we know what really took you so long.
Circumstantial evidence will never hold up in a court of law.
But this notarized record from the cook will. Now, Mrs. White, you really did hate Yvette, didn't you?
The flames on the side of my...
Yeah, we get it. This is a container holding fingerprints taken at the scenes of your previous murders.
I never murdered my husband.
Fingerprints, I'm sure the FBI will be able to match to those found on a rope around Yvette's neck.
I wore gloves.
You mean this one? And last but not least, Mr. Bobby Body.
It's Robert.
Now, you didn't hate Yvette at all, did you?
What's it to you?
Illicit green card love affair is the icing on the cake for this FBI file. An FBI file on the whole Body family. Your butler, the real Mr. Wadsworth, has been feeding us information for months. Talk about a real American.
He was British!
You know what I mean. I see why you'd want to kill him. Twice. Your first shot missed him in the study, but he wisely played dead. And it wasn't until you caught him trying to escape that you bludgeoned him to death with a lead pipe I dropped on the way to the kitchen.
I mean, really, who dropped a murder weapon?
I didn't know so. Point is, the Body family has been wanted for organized crime for decades, but they've always eluded the law. Until now. Tonight, the Body business has reached a dead end.
You leave my family out of... Ow! 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 Mama! Oh, Larry! Larry! Hold me, Larry! Oh, it's so dark. Second wind. If I knew you were coming, I'd have baked you a cake. Oh, Larry.
He's dead.
Not yet. Smile when your heart is breaking. Smile. Oh, Larry! Now.
I tell you, this was the most exciting night I've had in a long time. And now you're all under arrest. Officers, these are the criminals you've been looking for. You'll find the recordings of their confessions in the billiard room.
No, the tapes.
All right, who done it?
He did it!
They all did. But if you want to know who killed Mr. Body, it was me, Special Agent Larry Goodman, in the hall with my gun.
Well done, Goodman.
That's what he said.
And that's how it really...
Jeez.
Sorry. Take him away, officers. I'm going home to sleep with my wife.